Hey, friends. My name is Russell, and I help Gen Xers and others start and scale their online affiliate marketing businesses. I'm going to hop over here. Oh, just a second. We'll give them a minute to hop in. So, hey, we are gathered here to having a bad hair day. Look at that. At least I have hair. I guess I can do that. Today is our interview day. We have a special guest that is going to be joining us momentarily. I am looking for my co-host as we speak. And so, y'all, welcome as y'all are coming in and watching the live. If y'all will just say hey and let me know where you're from, I'd love to do that. Today, we're going to be interviewing, I think, a spectacular rising star in the affiliate space. And I'm looking for her to sign on live, and then we can get her to co-host and run them both at the same time. So we're going to be talking about affiliate marketing today. We're going to be having my special guest share her story and how she got involved and started. And then we will also be spending some time she'll answer some questions from me. And okay, let's see here. Abby, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, but you didn't co-host. You just joined the live, or did you co-host?
No, I did co-host.
Okay. Oh wow.
Wait. Well, let me try
No,
again
no.
because I went to hosts
Yeah, yeah. No,
and I
it's you're a host.
okay.
I've never seen the host invite like that. That particular invite looked like what we do on late nights, where we just join somebody's live. So I've got Heloise over here.
I have no one yet, but I did your marketing for you in the group though. Hey, Robert. I can't hear you, Russell.
Difficulties.
I don't know if you heard me, but I said I did your marketing for you in the in the group chat.
You didn't? Did
I
you? Nice.
mm,
What kind of marketing did you do for me?
I just told everybody that we were going live.
Okay, very cool. So yes, and I don't know why my AirPods are choosing to flake out at the moment, but we've got Heloise and Joanne and Melba, Texas. The Ditch Doc Zip and Bart and others have joined us, so we're grateful to have you here. For those of y'all joining on either side, my name's Russell. I help Gen Xers and others start and scale their affiliate online businesses. And I do this interview series once a week where I bring on a different affiliate marketer. They're at all different places in their journey. They come from all different backgrounds and walks of life. And for me, this is one of the ways I get to give back to the community because my voice isn't going to resonate with everyone. And I want you to see that there is a lot of diversity and a lot of different voices in the space, and that the affiliate marketing journey is something that can be accomplished by um, just about anyone with some certain characteristics, I think. So today's special guest is Abigail Worthington Hudson. And I just lovingly call her Abby, and I hope she doesn't mind.
Not at all. That's what I prefer, actually. I'm weird about it, and like I always say my name is Abby, but I always write it as Abigail.
Yeah.
So,
Well, cool. Well, welcome. You got anybody over there you want to shout out to? Say,
yeah, I got Liz who just joined the mastermind yesterday. She's a rock star. She was in the 12 day, Liz Bocris, and I have Robert is over here, and I think I have Jacob. I have Jacob. I thought I had Dan, but I don't. Uh, Hi Jacob, how are you? Uh, yeah, that's who I've got right now.
All right. So we'll encourage y'all on both sides. The cool thing about this is when we're co-hosting, you can smash up either face that you're watching, and that will add likes to the live, and that will actually help TikTok push it out to other people. And then you're also welcome to share the live. We invite you to do that to let folks know. We just had Kim jump on, the digital marketer. Hey, Kim, good to see you. So, Abby, let's get started. I'm going to ask Abby a series of questions, and we're going to hear about her journey. And then, if as we get a little later in the interview, if y'all have some questions, we'll ask you to drop those in the chat a little bit later, and then we'll get those answered as well. Abby, tell us about yourself. What do you do? Where are you from? How'd you get to this affiliate marketing place?
Um, so it's a little bit of a long story. I went to college in Chicago, and I ended up staying there for 17 years. And the last a little over 4 years that I was there, I worked for a company that was a large scale affiliate for another brand. And I did most of their like their email marketing and a lot of their social, and I managed the people who did all of the blogging. And so I got a really good behind the scenes idea of what affiliate marketing was, and I could see the revenue that it was bringing in. And so I thought, and I honestly, the whole time I was working there, I was like, why am I not starting a business like this? Why am I not starting a business like this? And anyway, so I left that position and I moved back to Michigan. And I took a few years off. Oh, I forgot to say, I am in marketing and graphic design professionally. And so I took a few years off and I kind of I actually worked at a Michaels store as a custom framing manager, which if you are in marketing and or sales and you need like a complete deep dive into what it is like to work with people one-on-one, that's a great place to be. I learned so much more about marketing and sales in that position than I ever believed I would, and actually a lot more than I did in some of my more corporate roles.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, so fast forward to a couple years ago, my dad had been sick, part of why I moved back, and he passed away. And then we had a surprise baby right after. Like he passed away. I found out I was pregnant 7 days after he passed away. And then I had my son, 11 days after that. And so my son came 2 months early. And there were a variety of reasons that I didn't know that I was pregnant. It sounds insane. There's a whole story behind it, but I won't get into the crazy details, but I do go into it a little bit sometimes. Anyway, so this happened. My husband and I were at this point where we were kind of like finally doing a little bit more than breaking even. And then we had this child. Like, holy cow, all of the extra expenses, right? Like, not only the hospital bills. I mean, he was in the NICU for 5 weeks, so good
Mm.
Lord.
Yeah, I could only imagine.
But just a very unexpected addition to our family, and he's a blessing. But oh my, that like it was like a whole redirect in our entire lives. And so I've always had a side hustle in some capacity or another, whether it's been like freelance graphic design or in college I did knitwear for people. I currently own and have owned for about 4 years a vintage resale online company business. And I also have a print on demand of my own design work. I'm getting all red. ah,
You're in a
and
safe space. It's all good. We're friends
I know
here.
I'm just like, oh, I look so red. Uh, and so we had Sid, and I was like, okay, so what am I gonna do to make up for this? And so I switched job. First of all, I made a goal for how much I was gonna make in income in a full-time position within a year. And it was a big goal. It was
Right.
not a small goal, but this is like the proof is in the pudding with like how much mindset matters in everything in life because I made that goal and it's four times what I was originally making
Oh,
like
wow.
when I started this. And uh and I like went at it and I was like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to be straightforward with people and ask for what I want. And just and it did take a it took a few jobs, I'll admit. I did have to do a little bit of jumping to get there, but I did it. And anyway, so I was running these business, I had that goal, and then I was these businesses, I was scaling them in sales, but not in profit.
Ah,
So it was more work with like the same return, basically, right? So that's frustrating
yeah.
because you're sitting there doing all the extra work on top of your full-time job and it's still not really making anything. Now, I will say I'm very passionate about those, and part of what I hope to do in the long term with scaling my affiliate business is to have time to do um, those two businesses like as I want to, right? So have the freedom to like enjoy the process of doing those. But anyway, I realized I wasn't scaling and thanks Liz. She said I totally know about it. Uh, um so I wasn't scaling and I was like what else can I do? And in the like 6 years since I've been back in Michigan, I kind of like I kept thinking about affiliate marketing, but it kind of like was off radar for me. And then somebody else in Michigan was posting about doing it, and they were posting about a specific course. And so I hopped in and I was like, okay, I got this. And I went through that and I was like, okay, this is cool. I've done this before, so I've got this. I don't, I totally got this. Um, I did not totally have it. I actually there like the change in how it in like the essential functions of how to market yourself in the affiliate space has changed a ton in the last like 7 years since I last worked in it. So when I was doing it, you had to have a list. When I was doing it in-house, you had to have a list. You had to do pay per click.
Hmm.
You had to do paid ads. Like I was like diving into Facebook ads right when they became a thing. And like we were scaling through Facebook and a lot of it was paid and you don't have to do that anymore. You can if you get to the point where you're like, "Hey, I'd like to find some additional revenue streams."
Hmm.
You can and be very profitable with it, but like if you're starting out, you don't need to do that anymore. You can create your own organic like money making machine. It
Yeah.
takes work. It's not
Right.
like magic, but um so I started, I did like 2.5 months. I was really kind of struggling. I had no real um strategy, which is to me though looking back at my journey is a little bit ironic to me because as somebody who's been in marketing and design for almost 20 years, to think that I didn't have a strategy is really kind of funny to me because like why would I not have a strategy? But it's so different. And actually I see the most successful people are people who don't have a marketing background.
Right.
I actually think I'm getting a little like we're swerving a little, but I actually think that oh, Mima's here. Thank you. Hi, Jess. I actually think that having a marketing background actually can keep us in our own way sometimes
Yeah.
because we overthink, and especially on TikTok where it's really all about just being authentic, right?
Hmm.
It's all about being who you are and just being straightforward about that, like mistakes and flaws and all of that. Um, so I think I got in my own way for a while, and I still think I do at times, but I truly do not believe that starting out anybody needs to have experience, because if you are authentic and speak and tell the world your journey as you go and you tell it truthfully, people you will resonate with people, and that's super important. And I think we're seeing a shift in marketing in general, kind of in that direction.
Mhm.
It used to be about all about making everything um, look beautiful and the aesthetic, and now we're kind of seeing a transformation where people really just want to feel like they can connect with the product or service that they are looking into. And I think that's a huge reason why affiliate marketing has suddenly become, um, sorry, I just got something, has suddenly become a lot more popular and more known about,
Right.
because because this is affiliate marketing has been around for like 30 years, right? And but a lot of people didn't know about it because it was in a different form, and they were just going to links and purchasing and not understanding how it was working.
Right.
And now there are more people out there saying, hey, this is a thing that you can do. It's not a secret anymore. And the reason that is because companies realize that people want to have authentic interactions with other people, even if it's just somebody on the screen. We talk about a lot about the know, like, and trust
Right.
factor, and it's absolutely true, because people want to have that connection. And even if it's somebody they never talk to, if they are finding out about a product from somebody who has proven to them that they recommend products that they also have tried and love, then they're going to connect with them on an intimate level, even if it's not like a personal interaction.
Sure.
So companies have recognized that, and it's also good for the companies. They don't have any overhead on this. So why would they not go this way if it's something that's already going to speak to their customer base? Because they don't have to. I mean, they're still always going to do like billboards and stuff, the big companies, right? But
Right.
smaller companies, this is a great opportunity to get yourself out there, because if you have people who truly believe in your products or your service, and they're out there saying, hey, did you know this exists? You can use this, or you can get help through this service. It can be really just an amazing opportunity for small businesses as well as large scale businesses. Anyway, long tangent.
Long tangent. Well, but you're right. I mean, and it saves the companies, I mean, salespeople usually have some sort of base plus commission. And if you don't have to pay those base salaries, that's a huge benefit for the small business owner. So yeah, it
Yeah.
makes perfectly good sense. So okay, so I am just absolutely enthralled that somebody who has spent 20 years in graphic design and marketing in various ways chose to do affiliate marketing because, and I'll give you a for instance, a lot of the teachers that I know would not for anything in the world volunteer extra time with kids, because by the time they get home and deal with their own kids and they've dealt with their kids in the classroom and what have you, they're done with kids. So they find something totally different. So is there anything more about the magic of why you are leaning into affiliate marketing when you've got all that marketing brouhaha in your background?
Sure. Yeah. No, actually, that's a really good question. And so first of all, I do not do affiliate marketing professionally anymore, so that helps.
Right.
Um, Second, what I do in my day job currently is very different, right? So I've been a marketing director in a lot of other things. Currently, I'm just like purely a graphic designer. So I get to flex my like marketing, my love of marketing. And I also get to do it my own way. There's a big difference between doing it for yourself and creating your own authentic brand, being you, and uh, doing it in like the corporate format. So, and that's I think why I can say that I feel that a lot of people who have no marketing background whatsoever are actually more successful than people that do, is because we have like these processes ingrained in us that is hard to get over
Yeah.
sometimes, you know? Um, but for me, I really love helping people. And um, I've had a lot of I've worked for a lot of smaller companies, a lot of startups, and part of that being my job was helping people. And in my current position, I work for a larger company. And so I don't have as much direct interaction with um, immediate customers or even just other employees who like are trying to take on and learn new things and just being able to kind of mentor in that way.
Right.
So for me, being able to learn while also teaching is really just like it's like the perfect opportunity for me because I feel like I can help people with the knowledge I have and I'm still learning how to make this work, so I can combine the two things and be excited about my own growth while helping other people grow. I hope
Yeah.
that makes
Oh,
sense.
totally, totally awesome. And Mima's doing ping pong. She's over here now, and she says you've helped so many, and it's true. I mean, we've watched you help folks with System IO and connecting technology and coaching and helping in other ways. So, I mean, I think that's fantastic. One of the reasons why I think I am if it's a fair statement, don't take this out of context, but one of the reasons why I'm so drawn to you is the fact that you are, um, I would use the label that was used on me the other day. You're a serial entrepreneur. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions along those lines because what I heard, and these are questions that were asked of me recently, what I heard is that you have two businesses, a full time job, plus an affiliate marketing business, plus a child, plus a husband. um, how do you manage? Did I miss something? And how do you manage that schedule?
Okay. So first of all, I work at home, but I am not a stay-at-home mom. So I will clarify that. So I work from home full time. I take advantage of small breaks.
Right,
My husband is a freaking rock star and he has taken over a lot of the housework because he knows that my first goal is to bring him home,
right, nice,
right? So he is super helpful, so grateful for him. Um, with my other two businesses, I have, I'll be honest, like I made like $28 today in one of my businesses. I don't. I have set aside the marketing for now because I know that I can come back to them in the future once I get this off the ground and I have the time. So I do run two other businesses, but they are not as demanding as they used to be, and that's because I've chosen that. Um, if I were running them at full capacity like I used to be, I would not be able to do that.
right.
I've chosen to sacrifice their them a little bit for now so that in the future I can really grow them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
So, and then my son, he does daycare and he also has grandmas who are like super excited to have him. So he does two grandma days with two different grandmas, and then he does 3 days at daycare. So um, I think that answers your
Yeah.
question.
So I'll ask a follow up question. Even if one or two of your businesses are scaled down at the moment, that's still a lot on any individual's plate. I mean, I think we own that. I only sleep about 6 hours a night, and I've got 18 hours to get the rest of it in. Right. Um, my question, though, to you is, Abby, how do you take care of yourself, or how can you advise somebody to take care of themselves when they are dealing with whatever their life situation is, plus starting affiliate marketing?
Um, I'm honestly not very good at that.
Okay.
uh, I am trying to be better about it. I try to remind myself if there are nights where like I don't, because I do a lot of my affiliate business stuff in the evening. I
Mhm.
try to remind myself in the evenings if I just can't, like if I'm like maxed out, that it's okay and that I have posted my videos for the day or whatever it is. I try to, at a minimum, post 3 a day, but if that, and lately, I'll be honest, it has been 3 a day.
Yeah.
And that is because we've been dealing with a lot of family shit. Excuse me.
It's all right.
It's just like we've been dealing with a lot of family stuff, and my day job has been very stressful. And I was super grateful to have Monday off because I just rocked out on stuff that I needed to get done. And but I'll be honest, like I'm not super great about it.
Okay. So as your
I
friend,
I I need to be better about it, to be honest.
I'm going to start holding you a little accountable to that. I'm going to ask when you're scheduling a date night, when you're taking some time off, when you're playing with the boys. So just know it's coming.
I would actually appreciate that. We do like we try to do family things. Like we try to have like family brunch at
Mhm.
home. We used to go out to eat for brunch and then we kind of made that sacrifice and now we cook at home and do it. Uh, and then I'm working to actually integrate it like self-care into my life more. Um, but I'm willing to admit that I'm not good at it.
That's fair. I appreciate the honesty. That's the other, one of your many great characteristics is that you're a straight shooter, and you see it in your content. If the day is rough, or you're struggling with something, or you need to call somebody out on it, I mean, you're not bashful. You're not afraid to do it. I mean, you're who you are all the time, wherever you're at, and so I think that's amazing, and I appreciate that.
Thank
Um,
you.
I want to go back and touch on this difference between, without getting too far in the weeds, the difference between corporate marketing and affiliate marketing. Um, do you want to say a little bit more about that? I'm not sure if.
Sure. So working in-house for a company, you are messaging to the masses, but you're also like trying to hit your target audience. But it's never, you're always doing it as a company, right? You're always, even if there's a spokesperson for the company, you're never doing it within the capacity of thinking of yourself as having to do it, right? It's always out, it's like an out, it's not an out of body experience, but it's outside of yourself in some way. So it's a difficult transition to really say, okay, well, I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to be myself. And it feels really awkward at first. I go back and look at my stuff from like 4 months ago and I'm like, oh my God. Like when I worked in affiliate marketing, they actually asked me if I would be the public person for them. And I was like, no, no way, not doing that.
Yeah.
I just had no desire whatsoever to be on that level. Um, but now I feel like it's kind of like my therapy in some ways.
Okay.
Like I get to be me and say what I need to say and be authentically frustrated with things if I need to. And so, uh, but it is very different. It's looking at things through a lens versus looking at things through your own eyes. I think is maybe the easiest way to say it. So, instead of there being a filter through how you communicate things, um, it's it's just me making the decisions. It's not like a team of people who are like trying to take an idea and make it as digestible as it can be to the most people, right? I'm not worried about that. If you like me, you like me. If you don't like me, that's okay. You'll like somebody else. And
Okay.
that's how they will make money, right? It's okay.
Okay.
I don't need it.
And I think that's interesting. I mean, like the golden arches will always be the golden arches, whether they have paid actors or Ronald McDonald doing the front work. But that brand to the masses is very different than a personal brand.
Yeah.
So tell me more because you use those terms and I think they're more than buzzwords. So tell me your take on personal branding. Excuse me.
I actually did a post about this today, and I I posted it, and I realized that I forgot to move my stuff up above my head, the the what the captions above my head, and I was like, this is hilarious because in the video I'm like, be yourself, mistakes and all, and then there's all these captions over my face, and I'm like, well, this is an illustration of it if there's nothing else. So I think being your personal brand is being yourself. It is not a caricature of you. I think that's a really important thing to realize is you if you want to make genuine connections with people, you cannot try to create this caricature of yourself because you're gonna it's like lying, right? Like you're gonna fail at lying at the elaborate lie at some point, right? And then everything is gonna get just kind of like it's just out, it's all gonna come out. So you can't pretend to be something that you're not as yourself.
Right.
I think companies as a whole and brands on a larger scale can create messaging and create plans that give give them, the brand personality. But I think as an individual human, it's really unrealistic to think that you can make yourself into something that you're not publicly and stay that way for eternity.
Right.
Like, if you want to build a sustainable business, you're going to have to be yourself because otherwise you're going to flip up and something is going to come out and then people are going to be like, "Oh, well, who are you really?"
Right.
So um I there are a lot of people in the affiliate space who are very sweet and very kind and they are just uplifting. There are people who are very blunt and straightforward and like, you can't do this and you can't do this. I try to be a mix of the two because I think that is my personality, which may be a little weird to some people, but again, but I just don't think, I think when you're a large brand, you can create the values that you want the brand to have. Um, and whether or not as an internally you actually promote those values is up to you. I think that's where large brands will break down is if they don't promote the values that they promote internally, then there will be a breakdown eventually. So I think that's kind of how you can make the parallel between um, us as individuals and larger brands is if you're portraying externally something that you don't agree with internally, or the people who work for you don't feel you doing in-house as well, then eventually it's going to break because there's going to be a leak somewhere, whether it's you as your own brand forgetting that you've created this caricature or it's the brand as a whole and somebody finally speaks out. That's how you can maybe.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. That's awesome. You you were saying that you felt that, if I heard you correctly, your knowledge of the marketing world got in your way. So I'm going to throw a twist on that, and I'm going to ask you, what do you wish you knew then when you started your affiliate marketing journey as an individual, creating your own brand, um, that you now know? I mean, what do you now know that you wish you knew then that you might share with somebody else to help them in their journey to get over whatever their hiccups are?
Um, well, I mean, the first training that I took, so as somebody who has worked in affiliate marketing before, but didn't really realize that there were like trainings available. I started with a specific training, and have a good night, Jess. Thank you for coming. And because it was different, because how we promote it, sorry, I just drank some soda. Because how it is promoted now is different than it was. I I jumped in and I was like, I just am gonna start. I'm gonna get over it. I'm gonna start. And I didn't really know how to approach content. And which again, that's one of those things like I get in my own way. Whereas, well, actually I don't think that's necessarily getting in my own way. That's just a thing a lot of people deal with. It's not understanding how to start creating content. Um, and I okay. So what I wish I would have known when I first started out is that I didn't have to be an expert to start my journey, and I didn't need to portray myself in any specific way to get my journey started and start making real connections. Um, I wish I had known that just telling my why in a video would automatically create people who would, or not create people, but bring people to me who that resonated with. And even if like none of us knew really what we were doing, like it was an opportunity to learn and grow with each other.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I think that would probably be the one thing is like, yes, it is hard to know where to start, but you can literally say anything that you need to. Make it, if you don't know what kind of content to create, literally make it a video diary of what you're learning
Right.
on a daily basis. Don't do the copy and paste because it doesn't get you in. It works for like a handful of people in every 1,000 people, right? And otherwise, it's not really doing anything for you. You can certainly take inspiration, make it your own. I think that's when stuff actually does get pushed out more, is when it's like unique enough to be just yours.
Right.
Um, but just start talking to people. Like I just started talking to the camera as though I was having a conversation with somebody. And not even necessarily like sometimes if I feel awkward and I don't want to see my face, I like put something over the screen and I just look directly at the little circle that is my camera.
Right.
I've kind of gotten over that and I don't even really pay attention to myself on screen much anymore, but that helped a ton. And I mean, as a kid, I was very shy. A lot of my adult friends would say, "What the heck are you talking about?" But I did a lot of work on myself to get out of that and push myself in those uncomfortable situations to find who I was and feel like I was being heard and being my authentic self instead of just feeling like run over all the time, which was not to get into a whole bunch of like childhood stuff, but there's a reason for everything.
Sure, there is. Sure, there is.
So
Well, and we've both heard from our mentors that entrepreneurship is the best therapy you'll ever give yourself, uh, or some
if you're
variation of.
willing, well, if you're willing to open yourself up to it,
Yeah.
you have to really and truly say to yourself, I am going to accept how uncomfortable I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Like, you have to say, no matter how much I'm uncomfortable, I am just going to push through it. And that's really the only way to find success. You don't have to learn all that much. If you are willing to persist and stick with it, even when it feels like you just want to hide in a corner, that is that is when you will actually find success. It's just by finding how to be comfortable being you publicly means that you are comfortable with can be yourself comfortably with yourself. So
Absolutely. So I love the way you light up when you talk about your why. I've got to bring him home. I've got to bring him home. There's a glow, and I've only seen it at that level in you in one other instance, and it's when you're talking about your vision for the future. So I'm gonna ask. I'm going to ask, and you can feel free to plead the fifth, because if I'm jumping the gun, then put me in my place. But you kind of have a vision for your path now that has been had some clarity to it, and is really giving you some excitement. Are you able to say anything about that, or do you want to say anything about that?
so I can say, here's what I'll say is I believe that what I have realized through the last few months is that there's a lot of opportunity out there to learn about high ticket affiliate marketing. Right now, I see where the major gap is that there's a lot of opportunity for companies that are already established and have an online presence to integrate it to create an additional revenue stream. So I recently started my Facebook group, and I also recently spoke with somebody who I was having conversations with in the DMs, and she is, she does UGC, and then she does reviews and a bunch of other stuff about how we can like integrate the things together to optimize them for her overall business. And so I am working towards, I'm in the very early stages. That's the caveat. I'm in the very early stages of creating kind of a program to help people who have established businesses who maybe aren't like, oh, I want to go out and do high ticket as a separate business, but who just want the opportunity to learn how to integrate this stuff and don't know where to start. Because it's really a very simple process. It just takes work. Like any of it, it takes work. You have to know what products you want to promote, and you have to know how to integrate them into your web presence. So that's ultimately where I see myself going, is integrating all levels of affiliate marketing um, into a community, and I'm starting to get there because I and genuinely I believe that diversifying your streams of affiliate revenue, whether it's high ticket or low ticket, is ultimately going to be how you maintain and maintain a successful business and then start to really see that passive income come in. So just because something is low ticket doesn't mean that you can't promote it in the right way, that you will get, you know, a lot of money. You can't make a lot of money from it. Like there's Michelle Sparky. Well, she's Michelle Sparky on here. I love her to death. She's like retired army, and she showed me somebody called on TikTok called the Jungle Badger, who has this whole integrated, like, he does reviews, and then he has his website, and on his website is in order from the most recent post the products that he's reviewed, and it goes to that. He has a button for US pricing, a button for UK pricing, and he has like 2.5 million followers. He is making bank, and that is low ticket.
Right.
So I mean, it's taken him a while to get there for sure, but people love product reviews. So if you're willing to get on camera and like do a review, you can make it work. I mean, it's always going to take work to get launched in the first place. So, but you can even do product reviews in a very passive way where, well, I don't want to get into all the details of it.
Well,
But
but I think it's great that you found yet another niche within your niche to really hone in on for kind of a future income stream. And so I'm proud of you and I'm excited to see where it goes. So thank you for letting me help you spill the beans. Even if
I
it
feel like
wasn't,
I talked so much.
don't worry about it. No, and I think it's great. Um, so where do you go for, we always say that this is kind of a head game. And mindset's everything. So, what do you do to ground yourself, get your mindset right, or to get it back on track? How do you deal with mindset in your day to day life and business?
For me, I have started to just recognize when I get in a bad place and reset. And that is a lot of people starting in affiliate marketing who haven't, consciously done this for a while. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. Um, this is something that I have worked on for, gosh, I would say the past 15 years. When I started consciously working on it. And uh and this is why I always say, like, it's not about having the right mindset at all times. It's a process. It is a growth process. You are never always going to think that you're just going to be successful. It's about taking the times when you're like, "Oh, this is really frustrating. It's not working," and choosing to reframe how you think,
Mm-hmm.
and what your thoughts are, and repeating the positive affirmations to yourself so that you then believe it again. You're never ever gonna 100% of the time just believe in yourself. That's delusional,
That'll preach.
right? Like that's not that's. But I heard somebody say the other day, and I think I said this in one of my videos, is entrepreneurs have this ability to have an almost delusional belief that they are going to be successful. And it's not like they've always had that. I mean, I think there's some people who grow up in an environment where they're just taught that. But as people who maybe didn't, I certainly didn't. I came from like a middle-ish class, like not lower class, but not like upper middle class. Like you don't grow up with that mindset, so it's a process, and it's always going to be a process. So forgive yourself, give yourself some grace, and then remember to reset. So that's just how I do it.
That's
And
great.
sometimes if I have to give myself a whole day to wallow in it, I will, and then I'll just say I will be tomorrow, I will reset. So
Yeah. Uh, they say the only way through it is through it. And
yeah,
so
exactly.
you can help yourself short circuit the time that you spend in it, but the only way through it is through it if you really want to get to the other side. So I appreciate that. That's good. That's good. That's golden nugget written all over it. So speaking of golden nuggets, um, what advice do you have for just the person getting started out? They've never done affiliate marketing before. They've caught some of your content and they say, "Hey, Abby, I need more information and I just don't know what to think about this." What would you offer?
um Well, so this is part of why I opened up my Facebook group. I is because I want to just like I created a really, what I hope is a really clear training on what affiliate marketing is, not with any bias. Well, maybe a little bit, because I do truly believe in this business model. I worked in it. I've seen the results that are possible. It's not a scam, but you get out of it what you put into it, and you can't give up quickly, because that's just the reality of it. So uh, I've created some things to help educate without it being just me saying that. Like, well, I know it works because
Right.
that means so much. If you can illustrate it to people visually, it helps. But the number one thing I would say is no matter how little experience you have, if you are consistent, you stay consistent, you show up even when you're uninspired. Like one of the things that I think is most important is routine. Routine is more important than inspiration. So you can be inspired randomly. There are days you're inspired, there are days you're not. But if you have a routine where you show up for your business every day, you may not make money for 6 months. Like, I'm going to be real here. You may not make a dime. Everybody's journey is different. But if you show up, you will be successful. It is the people who give up too quickly who do not find the success they're looking for. And and even the people who are like, oh, well, I'm just not making enough money yet. Well, you know what? You're never going to be making enough money. Like,
Right.
like just push through it because at some point you will it will fire off for you and you will be where you wanted to be, and then you won't be where you want to be because you're at where you wanted to be a year ago and now you're there, so you want to be someone else. So just remember that as your business evolves, your expectations of it evolve. So you may think that you're never going to get there, but the reality is you're going to get there. You're just going to want more when you do.
That's fair. So, based on that comment, um, if somebody was going to jump on, and this is a brand new person, right? Not somebody that struggled. This is somebody curious and investigating affiliate marketing for the first time. How long of a commitment would you say they need to make it to give it a good whirl, so to speak?
I would say a very minimum of 6 months.
Okay. All right.
Um, I, yeah, I think there are people who are going to hit it in a month. There are people who are going to hit it in 2 to 3 months. There are people who are going to hit it in 6 months. And honestly, there are people who are going to kind of struggle for a year. I
Yeah.
think that once you get to a year, if you are still struggling and you still believe that you can make it work, which you absolutely can. I'm never for a second going to say that anyone cannot make this work, but if you are still there, then you need to get a mentor. You need to get an education program. And if you already have a mentor and an education program, you need to look at a different one.
Mm,
Um, Everybody has a different learning style, and just because you think that you should be able to figure it out from one program doesn't mean that's the situation.
right.
Um, And there are high ticket programs that teach less than lower ticket programs and vice versa. I mean, it's really you so that is a convoluted answer to your question.
No, I think it was pretty straightforward. Absolutely. I think that um, I usually go with 12 months, but I do agree that if at 12 months nothing's changed, then you probably need to take a look at your part in that, um, and
Yeah.
or the place that you're surrounded by. Mark over here says that he agrees totally. Feelings are fleeting. A routine will keep you on course. Being consistent is very key. So thanks for that, Mark. Looks like it's Mark R. Mason. So shout out to him. Um, Okay, so we're kind of nearing the end. If y'all have that have been watching or have jumped on have questions about affiliate marketing, about personal branding, about getting your business started, go ahead and drop them either in my chat or in Abby's chat, and we'll be sure we get them answered before we go. But the next question, Abby, is kind of like the last one. Would you say anything different to somebody that's been at it for a while and is struggling? What would you give different advice to them?
I don't know that I would give them different advice. I would probably ask what they've been doing, what their process has been, what they are struggling with, um, and if they've been getting help. Um, I don't know. I can't say like there's one thing you should be doing differently without having a conversation with you.
Sure.
Um, I think that if I know where you're at, I can give you some pretty solid advice. Um, but yeah, so if you and I are in the DMs, right? And I'm asking you how your journey's been going, or is there anything you need help with? Don't avoid the question. If you're like, Abby, I don't want to talk to you, then whatever. But don't feel like you need to sugarcoat it. I'm not messaging people to sell them.
Yeah.
I am messaging people because I want to help them.
Yeah.
I am in a fortunate position where I have previous knowledge in addition to my current knowledge, and I've also gone through a lot of programs. I found PIB and I love PIB. It is what works for me. I started with the 12-day. I am in the mastermind, but I have other programs. If you have a different learning style than me, I can recommend some other programs for you. So it is not, or, just come into my Facebook group because I forget that I have a Facebook group now, but I'm working really hard on it. It's only like a week and a half old. So I feel like I'm like really trying to cultivate that, but I forget that I have
So
it when
y'all that are watching, Meemaw, Terry says that your Facebook group is fire. So, you'll let me know. I have to go check it out. Um, where was I going with that? Oh, yes. So all of y'all that are watching, see, even I lose my place sometimes, and that's just the way it is. We're going to call it a senior moment and move on.
No, I did that earlier today, so no worries.
So in my senior moment, what I was trying to say was that if you would like to connect to Abby and join that amazing Facebook group and get to know her better and have an opportunity to converse a little more and all of that jazz, be sure and follow her here on TikTok. Um, Drop a comment in one of our chats. That way we know that she can reach out to you and she can make sure that you get the link to that community.
And
Um,
I would like to add that TikTok recently released this option where you can open up your DMs to anyone. You don't have to be mutually following each other. I have done that. So if you are in here and you're like, you want to be a part of my group, just send me a direct message because I can get it now.
All right, that's awesome. I'll have to check and see if I have that feature or not, because sometimes those features get
Oh,
piecemeal.
I know. I still don't have like the drafts thing with like the live drafts. I don't know. They roll them out on a crazy basis. I never understand.
Yeah,
So,
me either. So I'm not seeing any questions on this side, but I want to make sure. Are there questions that have you gotten any questions in the comments on that side, Abby?
I have a lot of very enthusiastic support comments, but no questions.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's see. Mark says again, thanks for sharing your experience, Abby, and thanks for the live, Russell. Absolutely, Mark. We're glad to do them. We're always looking forward to bring new voices to the forefront. That way, they can be heard. I'm smart enough to know if I don't know anything, I'm smart enough to know that not everybody's going to resonate with me. And if you can resonate with one of the people I bring on, please follow them, converse with them. The whole point is to kind of lift them up and let their voices be heard. So Abby's got some great experience. We've both been through multiple courses, and one of the things that I like about Abby is that she models what we preach, and that is that we help people first, even if that means it's with a different program. So, yeah, Abby's a rock star. So, Abby, what is it? Um, my experience having done these interviews now for a couple of months is that everybody always prepares to answer one question, and it's usually the question I forget to ask. So, is there something that you want to tell the group that's gathered on either side that maybe I didn't ask a question, or there's some kind of wisdom that you want to impart? This is just kind of throwing it all to you. It's wide open. Go where you want to go with it.
That's really funny. I actually, because of our conversation earlier in the week, where you were like, I'm just gonna like ask you to tell your story and go from there. I literally just like let it go. I was like, okay,
Yay.
I'm gonna. which is weird, is something that I'm learning to do in this business is like not get hung up on the things that I think I need to worry about and worry about the things that I actually need to worry about, you know? So with that said, what I would say is don't get hung up on knowing all the details before you get started. The most important thing that you do, the biggest step you will ever take in your business is starting.
Yeah.
All of the steps after that are tiny in comparison. Putting yourself out there and getting started is the most difficult part. Stop learning constantly if you're in that stage. Don't get in that like circle of learning. I just got to know all the things. Stop doing that. Take what you know and start implementing. And with that said, keep keep implementing and just keep learning, but don't keep learning so much that you're not starting. Get started. Biggest
Yes.
step you'll take. Anyway.
All right. I think that is absolutely fantastic information. I am out of questions.
Okay.
That I'm probably not. I'm thinking through, I don't want to ruin what I think has been a fantastic time together. And so I feel like if I push it too much, I want y'all to be sure and follow the Money Marketer. It's Abby, digital marketer here on TikTok. Be sure and DM her now that her DMs are open to everyone. What a great gift. I have to really go check that out. And find out how to get involved and get connected to her Facebook community. Y'all don't hesitate to reach out if you need help, whether it's our program or another one. Y'all contact Abby and reach out to her because she will definitely be able to help you. We've got a shout out to Mr. Bailey, Jason Bailey, and then Nima says that you're a pillar here at PIB. You're the best.
Oh, I love Mima. Terry is the best. I would not be here without her. Absolutely no way I would be here without her. She's
Yeah,
kept me going when I was frustrated far before I joined this community. She's been really, and I don't know how she has the energy to support so many people so much and so genuinely. It makes me feel like teary just thinking about it. Like she is amazing.
it
I
is
can't
amazing.
say good things about Mima. So
Well, I want to thank you again for being here. I want to kind of, I don't want to set a date, but I'd love to have you back, especially as the new pathway on the business unfolds over the course of the next year. Uh,
yeah.
and y'all can also catch us. Abby comes on frequently with us late at night after our masterminds. There's a group of 4 to 6 of us that will get on from time to time. So y'all be
I
sure and
get better about that. I've kind of fallen off, but I have to
so
get better about that.
the group I think is still recovering from the holidays because
Yeah. The holiday burnout is real.
it
You
is.
don't realize it until you get past them because you're just like in go mode. And then all of a sudden it's done and you're like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well,
I really appreciate you having me on. I don't usually get nervous about this stuff, but I was a little nervous. I don't know why. But I really appreciate it. You're very easy to talk to.
oh well, thank you. I try to be. Yeah, I don't think people need to be nervous when they're visiting with me. I'm try to just keep it conversational and get to know folks, or allow our conversation to help others get to know us. And so
Yeah, for
uh,
sure.
we'll look forward to seeing you again real soon. I guess we'll see you in about an hour or so, huh?
Oh yeah, it is Wednesday, isn't it? Oh
It
my
is
gosh.
Wednesday. All right. So to Mark and all the rest of y'all, thank you so much on both sides for joining in, and we will see you next time. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.